The Vatican created a task force in March to address the global pandemic. And while much of Europe and the rest of the world is slowly reopening, the Holy See Group continues its work. Joining us now is the member of the task force, Father Augusto Zampini, Adjunct Secretary of the Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development, and he joins us now from Rome. Father, welcome back.
Pleasure to have you, or to be with you, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, countries are beginning to reopen slowly. What do you make of these decisions?
Well, the reopening of countries is tricky. No, I don't envy any of the governors at the moment, because they are in between reopening to promote again to restart the economy or to keep the people safe. So what we discover in the task force is that there are ways of keeping or looking after people and resuming a better economy, not to regenerate society, as Pope Francis said, but has to be done with a lot of participation on the basis of business people, on leaders and political leaders, but they have to take very, very tough decisions, and that's what the Pope wants the task force is to help them and to remind them that not everything is just about numbers, that the economy is about the organization of the house, and the house is full of people.
Well, Father, I know last month your task force said the pandemic was causing a crisis for the hungry. Can you give us an update on if this issue has been addressed?
Yes, it's still an enormous risk. One thing that we discover is the COVID has increases some of the problems of the world. One of them is the food security. So there's a lot of people dying because of hunger or around food issues. Millions of people every year. But this increases this risk. And so one of the things that countries have to do, and countries together, this is an opportunity of countries to come together to tackle this issue and to ensure that the production and the food supply chain is not disrupted, to stop fighting against each other, to fight the virus and to allow people to eat, and to redesign the food production redistribution. Because if people cannot eat, they cannot be healthy. And if with unhealthy people, we cannot tackle the virus.
Father, finally, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on things that could have been done better, that is, or how to handle any future pandemics?
So one of the things that that is obvious that we need to learn, we must learn, is the investment in health infrastructure. And there's no public health system or private health system in the world that can cope with a pandemic. There's no one. So the only way of preventing this from happening is investing in research, investing in vaccines, investing also in public health systems, and allow the people to receive the outcomes of this investment and these services. It's an opportunity for Catholics to remind everybody about this notion of the common good, that we are all sons and daughters of our God, who has created in his image and likeness. So one of the things that we can say is, listen, if we want to prevent another pandemic, we need to work together for the good of all and not for the good of some. And it's impossible to work for the good of all without very strong public health systems, but not just the health systems that respond to a disease, but the health systems that prevent diseases.
Absolutely. Father, thank you so much for your time today and your input. We really appreciate it. Father Augusto Zampini, Adjunct Secretary of the Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. And have a good day or a good evening if you're here in Europe.